Welcome back to the channel, people. We got a new video for you guys. We played in the Copa del Rey today, and if you know Real Madrid in the Copa del Rey, you know some stupid stuff is bound to happen. You know we're gonna play bad, and somehow we got away with it this time. But we got Real Madrid 5, Celta Vigo 2, a couple goal scorers on the score sheet today. We got Mbappe, Vini, Endrick with a brace, and Valverde. Brilliant goals from everybody. We'll basically go through the game's timeline, and I'll talk about certain players who I thought were key to the game, and the starting lineup who I thought was good. That I think the starting 11 was good. How basically Carlo did, but yeah. Basically, let's get into it. I guess the first player we should highlight is. Should I talk about the players first or the way the game? I'll talk about the way the game went for me, cause I feel like the game was kind of like I'm looking at the stats right now. We had 58% possession with versus their 42, but I feel like that might have been a little bit blinded with that might be a little bit skewed to our side because of the extra time. But man, from the beginning of this game, bro, this game did not look good for us. The way we were playing, it was so like there was like no energy. And with the starting, even before the game started, you had the whole starting 11 getting booed, basically, especially Chouameni and Vasquez. Basically, anytime they were on the ball, they were getting whistled, they were getting booed, but uh, and they basically, yeah, like um, the crowd was not happy with them, especially with the team with the performance that they had last game against Barcelona. But and the team had to respond and respond they did. But the way they responded in the first half, I did not like it at all. I felt like we were just playing so slow, and it took a moment of brilliance from Kylian Mbappe again, who's been getting a little bit of a scoring streak for us, and he's starting to do very well for us. It took a little bit of brilliance from him to go and score the goal and the first goal for us, and credit to him because I especially on this channel, you guys saw me criticizing this guy a lot, and because he had a lot of expectation on him, and the expectations are still there, by the way. But slowly and surely, he's starting to look like his old self again, and that's very good to see. And I think that's all Real Madrid fans wanted to see, which is him perform, and they would have backed him. And now the fans seem to love him. He's scoring goals. He's doing his job, and much better performances also from him. The first touch is back, things like that, you know. But yeah, it took a moment of brilliance from him to score the goal, and then Vinny, we came out in the second half, and then Vinny scored the second goal, and then from there on, even like at that point, like I felt like the game was still kind of weird, and then we held on to the ball as best as we could, and it was kind of like a back and forth at that point. And I will say this: Celta Vigo should have had a penalty in the first half, I believe, but they didn't give it to them. And whether you think that's our fault or not, that's not our fault. But the first goal Mbappe scored did come from the so the penalty incident happened, and then they didn't give the penalty, and they didn't. I don't think they had time to review it or not. I don't know what VAR did, but basically from the moment the penalty incident happened, I think it was Vasquez or somebody passed it to Mbappe from his own half, and then he basically took it all the way and scored the goal. So whether you want to say Celta Vigo should have had a pen or not, you can argue that, but at the end of the day, they didn't get the pen. But I do feel like there was a makeup call a little bit later on for that. But yeah, uh, yeah. Basically, after that, the first goal, I'm trying to see how it happened. Oh yeah, Kamavinga gave the ball away. At that point, a lot of substitutions happened. Kamavinga came on, Ardagua came on, Fede came on, Endrick came on, and this is all within the 70th to 79th minute when we're trying to keep the game and where we're basically trying to basically take the game away. And yeah, and then when at that point, I think Kama was playing the midfield because Fran Garcia should have still been on. No, he was playing as a left back at that point, and because Fran got hurt, and he gave the ball away, and unfortunately, Celta recovered it. They scored the first goal. Second goal that they scored comes from Asensio Pen, 1-on-1 in the box, and it's kind of shoulder to shoulder, but you kind of get why they give the pen. Like they should have had the pen in the first place in the first half. So I'm not complaining too much about that. But at that point, the game is 2-2. You go into extra time, and yeah, the game you're like, oh my gosh, Real Madrid bottled it. Real Madrid is this and that. Basically, is giving the game away, and maybe they haven't learned. Maybe the defensive problems are still there. But a moment of brilliance from Endrick. He scores the first goal that gives us the opening. I think it was like another set piece situation from like a corner. Tchouameni passes the ball to Valverde outside the box. And if you know Valverde at this point, you know he's only scoring brilliant goals. And a brilliant goal he did score. And then Endrick finished it off with the last goal. He had kind of like a backheel goal, kind of off of a rebound from a corner situation. And another assist for, what's it called? For Arda. So good to see. And it's kind of funny that to see the two players that fans have been kind of asking for a little bit, but that have been rotting on the bench for basically were the ones that kind of saved Carlo. Because I bet you if we had lost this game, Carlo would have had a lot to ask for. But good for him that we won. And at the end of the day, he did make the sub, so you gotta give him credit. But let's actually talk about Endrick because I didn't think at first he had a good performance. But he did pick it up a little bit, and I'm not gonna blame him. Like I made a couple tweets in the moment because he was actually really playing bad, but he picked it up in the second part of the extra time, and at the end of the day, you gotta give him credit. He basically won the game for us, and yeah, like I think he needs to go alone if I'm being serious and honest with you. Because he's not gonna get the game time that he needs to properly develop. He's only like 18 years old and he's only getting like 10 minutes off the bench. And when those 10 minutes happen, he's not really doing a lot. And it took him a little bit of a while to get into the game. And then when he did get into the game, he did some good stuff. So I think alone might be good for him. And maybe you bring a player back in like a Joselu, and that's a tall striker that can be a poacher. That's a different type of attacker that you have in your squad, and I think that would be good for squad balance. But yeah, let me see who else I want to talk about in the star 11. The midfield, I thought they did all right. Didn't think it was too great. Luca had a good. Luca was keeping himself ticking, but the one problem I do have with Luca Modric, and he's like what 4 years old at this point. He's allowed to have flaws in his game. I don't have a problem with that, but he needs to come off the corner kicks. Like it's either not beating the first man, or it's just getting like turned away. It's a problem. Set pieces are a good way for you to score goals. You can see Arsenal and basically with Luka Modric taking them, it's a waste of time and somebody else should be taking them, in my opinion, and we should be able to move on from there. But outside of that, good performance from him. Tchouameni for me, man of the match. Let's just go through some of the stats real quick. 120 minutes played, one assist, one shot on target, three chances created, 81 out of 86 passes completed. That's a 94% rate. Uh, 117 touches, one out of one successful dribble. He had 17 passes into the final third. And the thing that I was talking about with the crosses, there's nobody tall enough in the box because all of attackers are short. So when you're trying to cross the ball into the box, it's a waste of time. And you see he had 0 for 3, but he did have 4 out of 6 for the long balls. He was dispossessed 2 times, but the defensive stats are this what I really wanted to look at. One 4 out of 5 tackles. He had 2 blocks, 4 clearances, 2 headed clearances, 3 interceptions, 15 defensive actions, recovered the ball 7 times and only was dribbled past once. Won 8 duels, only lost 5. Won 7 out of 11 of his ground duels, and won one out of his two aerial duels, and was fouled once. Obviously, he was man of the match. You can see by his rating, and I thought he was very brilliant today. And if he keeps playing like that, then I bet you nobody will ever boo this guy. Nobody will ever whistle him, and he just needs keep these performances up, and he'll be the first guy in the starting lineup if he keeps playing like that. Credit to Lucas Vasquez also. I thought he started out rough, but got a little bit better towards the end of the game. He was getting booed also, and he showed good mental resilience to keep on going and play the entire match. Asensio did give a pen away, but outside of that, and booting the ball away, and he just needs to tone down the aggressiveness a little bit, and I think he'll be fine. I feel like when I watch Asensio, I don't know if he's gonna be a starter for us in all the time, but I think he can be like that guy, like Nacho. Like he can play if he. I don't know if he can play left back or left center back, but let's see. So far he can play right back or and right center back, and let's see if he can play the other two positions in the back line. And if he can, that's gonna be great for him. But yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing from him. He's showing good passion, good aggressiveness from as a center back, but he just needs to tone it down a little bit because it is getting him in some foul trouble and stuff like that. But outside of that, I thought he played a good game. Uh, one of my main things with Carlo was that when you were playing Chirmani and Vasquez against each other, they were both not originally like defenders. Like you get what I mean? They weren't both center backs or right backs originally by trait, but you're playing them against each other is just asking for for something bad to happen. Like there was a moment in the first half or the second half where Lucas Vasquez pushed up high up the pitch, and then I saw Asensio nicely slide down to that position and covered both his position, and then Chirmini also slide down to center back a little bit to help him out because they saw that Vasquez was high up the pitch. I'm fine with you playing one of them at a time at that position if it's needed, but you cannot play both of them at the same time, and I think that was a major problem. Outside of that, I did think this was a good star 11. You might need to in a bigger game in like a La Liga game or Champions League game. I'll probably start. Jude will probably start for me, and like you can't have. The thing is that this midfield was kind of too safe a little bit at the time. But outside of that, I thought we needed some risk takers. But we have a lot of midfielders, and it'll be interesting to see who plays and who doesn't. But yeah, credit to the players today. They did their stuff. Yeah, Carlo. I still think Carlo needs to go, but outside of, I think he bought himself some time today, and that's all that he can basically ask for at this point. But yeah, and then I also have the possible opponents that we can play in the quarterfinals. We have Barcelona. We need to get revenge against them. We got Atletico Madrid, Valencia, Getafe, Leganés, Real Sociedad, and Osasuna. Realistically, give me Getafe. Let us get some good win and get some good chemistry and get some games under us in this competition. And maybe we'll make a signing in the transfer window, and then we'll go on from there. And then maybe we meet Barca in the semis or Atletico in the semis or in the finals. And I don't want to face them too early. I don't want to be too cocky because we saw what just happened to us when we played them last. But I do want to face them again, and honestly, this would be a good trophy for us to win. It's a very hard trophy for us to win if you know Real Madrid. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. We'll be back next time with another match review or match preview. We'll see. I might make some other videos on some other stuff for you guys. But outside of that, thank you. See y'all. Enjoy your time. God bless y'all.